G'day, Hawks fans. Welcome for what is a big occasion, a sad night and week to come. But talking Hawks, we're here with you again, connecting with Hawks fans around the world. Just want to have some intelligent conversation and a few laughs along the way. But tonight I've got a heavy heart. I'm with you, Chris. How are you going, mate?
Yeah, much the same. It's been a drawn-out process, this one. It would have been nice to have done it a better way. But look, it's come a long way in the last couple of weeks. And yeah, it's a very fitting ending to a very touching story, isn't it? Absolute legend of the game itself. And he's pretty much going to go down as the all-time greatest coach, I feel. So let's just hope we can finish it off with another win. It's a pretty big game considering both teams have some something to play for.
Yeah. Look, I'm pretty flat personally. I think I'm grieving. It's different stages. There's been some wonderful tributes online. Seeing Clarko last night, just absolute heart wrencher. Hearing him, and it sounds like there's more to go, which is as far as his coaching career is concerned. Really difficult time with the club. To top it off, we got the opportunity as a sponsor of Denver and John Newcomb to be involved in an exclusive sort of Zoom with some of the players and just say even the heavy hearts there on McAvoy and O'Meara and Bruce. It just sort of seemed like some of those boys were really carrying things that were really honest. It was great. Put on by Stephen Gillam. So thanks, Gilly, if you're watching. And yeah, look, let us know tonight, fans. I feel like this is just a conversation tonight. Look, we've got some things we'll try and cover, but we'll have a bit of fun where we can. But if you need some time, I think it's going to take time to grieve as a club and look at things together, and we all go at different paces. So I'm rambling. The emotions have started.
You are rambling, but talking about having some fun, Mike Guy reckons you're trying to challenge me. You got a long way to go, fella.
Chris has had the beard over me for many years as my younger brother, and look, I'm showing some greys in mine, but lockdown doesn't help, so I just said stuff it. I'm just going to have a crack now. So look, anyway, enough about me. So give us your thoughts, fans. What's your best memories of Clarko, of Silk? Just incredible servants. I'm going to unconsciously do many Clarko-isms tonight, I'm sure. But a big game for both clubs. So, look, for me, I'm like Asprey, Hooley retiring from the Tigers. They've got something to play for, chip on the shoulder. Hardwick, Dimmer versus Clarko, good mates. It's going to be, the emotions there and the respect. It's pretty amazing, pretty deep. They're, done a lot of miles. Clarko and Silk, of course, but what's top of mind for the fans, Chris, as we go around? Yeah.
Well, talking about those other two Richmond players, they were excellent players in their own rights. But Cochin surprised me a little bit if he's going around again. I'm sure he would have announced it if it was going to happen. So that's interesting.
Or is it a matter of a post-season review conversation?
Possibly.
Because
he's going all right.
They have their exit reviews, medicals and whatnot before they work out things. So maybe it's a bit of a wait and see there. But look, he's been an amazing player, Koch, as well. So he's a heart and soul sort of guy you'd love to have in your club. But look, I'm sure it's going to be a cracking game. So let's lift it a little bit if we can. Oh, look at this one. That's a classic.
What do you got there?
Longer, but
Burgoyne goal versus Demons when he lined up at full forward against Chip Frawley. He kicked the ball up with his foot, did a U-turn without losing speed, ran onto a goal. Yeah. He's done some freaky things in his time, Silk, and never ceases to amaze when he just does something you don't expect.
The classic, Brett.
Yeah.
Totally. That is the one
that's
just carved in Hawthorn minds and hearts, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Look, he is going to hang around the club, Burgoyne. So it's good to see. I know he's been adjusting this year, doing some different things with different departments. So even seeing his tribute today, he saw that Hawthorn Football Club had that video of him just sort of addressing the players with Clarko and just sharing his story and some of his memories. Just amazing. Obviously loved, even embraced being that older fella and having a bit of a laugh about himself and his condition when he got in and having to learn how to be a professional way back in his Port days and working with Russell and Clarko back in Port and coming across. So, mate, what a journey.
Did see that picture up during the week. Clarko with the goat shadow. I love it.
We'd love to claim that one. Look, the boys at Hawk Talk Pod did a beautiful video tribute as well. So well done, Nick, and cheers if you're involved. So look, it's just the tributes are going to continue to flow. So it's all embrace it, get behind it. It's so sad that we can't get to the ground. I don't. Has anyone got any brains? Any brilliance, any ideas what we should do? How can you pay tribute? Is it next year? What do we do? Can we somehow get you can't tell me we wouldn't have had 100,000 or more fans at the ground.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Would have been up there for a home and away game. Definitely.
Yeah, the record, I'm sure. Look, it's
pretty fitting send off down in Tassie for Clarko. Tassie did quite well. Did a few things on the big screen, presented him down on the ground, and it's great to just see him getting around the players and the love between them. So yeah, that was great. Thanks, Tassie.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even if it's a pre-season, could you wheel Clarko out, get him around in the car with the fans, just something. Yep. I'm sure he'll make himself available as best he can, but and the club will try and work in with it. But look, fingers crossed. If you've got good ideas, we're happy to sort of shoot them through to the club. The brilliance. I don't know. Well, it's just we didn't want to rush the conversation. There's so many things that Clarko has done, and studying, international sporting codes and bringing that back every year. The student that he is as a teacher, he's still a student of the game. Amazing, shaping things. Nick Rewalt talked about that in that interview on Fox. It was great.
Even just introducing Kokoda and the bond between the players and what it meant and how it bonded the group, and look what it done. So, yeah, I think Hodgie just done a piece on that. I didn't get quite the time to read it at work today, but
I got that one. So Mel Zimmel pumped that one up on One for All, and in that Facebook group. Mel's a passionate fan, but yeah, it was nice to hear Hodgie talking about how that Clarko and Russell identified that the players were very selfish, and they needed to pull their heads in and learn how to play for each other rather than for themselves, and that was part of where the origin of Kokoda was born from, and doing things together as a team and whatnot. So yeah, worth a read if you need to find that one on One for All.
Just quickly sneak this question in here. Brewsty, last game. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I know they talked about the idea of him potentially playing elsewhere. He said his heart's with Hawthorn. So if Hawthorn don't offer him an extension, or where, I'm not sure where he's at contract-wise, do you know?
Not at the top of my head, but I hearing him the other night as well.
I think he'll go around next year.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think he'll play on. The one for me is Gunston. I think Gunston, from what I make of it, he's probably going to find it challenging to continue. And I think if there's a forward, and this isn't about currency and all of that, and it's a really hard thing at this point in time. But he's got to process what's going on and his allegiance with Clarko and Sammy and his own career, and what he wants to do with the football club and the putting into the younger players, because I know he said that on the record in years gone by. So I would hope he stays, but yeah, not sure. There we go. Greg's got your back there, Chris, and mine.
Yep, beautiful. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, and that's what I'm touching on there.
Ooh,
big one.
Makes sense potentially. Eric Hipwood went down with an ACL, so they could definitely use another key forward, or someone with that would keep them definitely in that premiership window. Yeah.
Well, and Bruce, you're right, Greg. Here, spot on.
Yep.
Yeah. So look, we have to come to terms with. There's going to be some change. We will see. I tend to agree. Some of these guys have got a lot to play for and have got it, but there's the enthusiasm. There's going to be a new game plan, and something that when we were in the session with the sponsors, something that the younger guys shared is that they love that Sam's brand is attacking, Clarko being a little bit more defensive. So Sammy looking to play to the strengths of the players a bit more, and I loved hearing. We'll come to that one, Kerry. I think the Nash Sammy just identifying, mate, let's just go back to your roots. Let's go to your origin. As an Irish fella, what we got you here for, the rugby side of it, go and hit the body, go and attack the ball, and then use your pace when you get it in your hand and get out of there. So, I think that would be a sign of things to come for Nash, and just feeling the confidence that, he said Clarko and Sam have both, instilled in me and changing the role of Box Hill. So, hearing it in that perspective, brilliant. So we'll see. I think we're seeing a bit more of the attacking style this year.
Yeah, well, that was definitely pointed out that his style was more attacking, and Clarkson's was a bit more defensive. But I'm sure Sammy's, it's working at the moment, so he'd be crazy to change the game style dramatically. So he might just tweak a thing or two and maybe move a few players around the ground into different positions potentially.
Well, it was Howe last week. Season best, probably career best game.
It was, yeah.
That loved the camera, didn't he? That the game plan has been in place all year, and that they're just really starting to get it. And so it is more attacking. And I think that's the collective brains trust, not necessarily Clarkson or Mitchell. And there's a team of coaches there having a look at how they should do things. So
I agree with Darren here. I believe the game should have been played down in Tassie, even though they did last week and had the send off. They still could have had a crowd there at least. It would have been so much better. Good
call. And if there was any chance to get your families there and things like that, how hard is that? Clarko, talking about it, doesn't even know if Karen and, the family are able to get there, and joke, laughs it off and puts it in perspective. Oh, you've been to 250 odd Hawks games, but it's if there was a chance.
He might have slipped up a bit. Said he might have a beer with Hardwick after the game. Oh, and then if we're allowed.
Yeah. Oh no, it was great.
I'm sure they'll sneak that one behind the closed doors.
Yeah. Look, it's a sign of things to come that it's a changing of the guard, and look, this is good. Doggies. Let's touch on the doggies then. That was a big game for them. I think, I don't know if they can sneak back into the top four now. I haven't had a close enough look at the ladder, but that was a very meaningful game. And really, we did. We just attacked. They didn't know what hit them. They looked a bit, just shocked, didn't they?
Just rattled and didn't know how to respond. Yeah, I was waiting for them. And they can score very quickly too. So it was no point of the game where I really felt 100% confident we were going to go on with the job. But that first quarter, I felt like we'd played so much better than the scoreboard reflected, and we didn't even score a goal in that first quarter. I thought we could have easily had 2 or 3 and gone in with a couple of goal lead. But, to their credit, we just stuck to our guns and persisted, and we just ground it out. It was great. Yeah,
and just it was quite a feat, and there's a point to prove. Young players in there. Glad to see Nuke get the nod, and 18 disposals. That was a great effort. I think he's
and the tackles, 11 tackles.
1% tackles. I looked back. His tackles. I think he's in all of his games that he's played as a younger player. less experience. He's one of the top every single game that he's played as a young player. So maybe that's part of the role, of course, but he's just got that big body. He does love it. So, yeah, nice to see. And I think a little bit stiff for him to get dropped this week, but we'll touch on that. I think obviously there was a bit of, I would say, Clarko wanting to let that experience, well, the ones he's got the bond with, and Silk, to be able to play for, him and for Silk in this send-off. So, yeah.
Just a sneaky little pun there from Scotty.
Yeah, and and we talked about that, didn't we? The potential of Nash Bond. And look, the big bodies, he goes all right, young Nash.
Yeah. And he's slowly converting me. I thought the experiment might have been over, and I don't think you can cut that out now. He's got to be given another contract at least.
Well, and it's not even a slow conversion, I don't think. I think there's a lot of Hawks fans that are now having to sort of double take because, we've talked about it being pretty harsh on him. But, amazing effort from him, and I think embracing
the improvement with his handball in traffic and in tight spaces. Just his vision. So kicking still okay, can improve. And, like we said, just that tackling. And, if he's got that endurance, why not use it?
Yeah. Look, if we can see him exploding out of, clearances and things like that and using that leg speed. But, it was nice just to enjoy the last quarter and a bit, just like, we've got this. That feeling, that confidence is coming back that sort of has been lacking for so long. Some pretty good. Howe got phenomenal meters, didn't he? He's
700 odd meters gained.
Yeah.
Yep.
To go with his was it 30, 31?
34.
There you go.
I think his previous best was 27. So, smashed it out the park. 9
marks, 3 tackles, 3 clearances. In 85% of time on the ground. Solid 1 goal, 1 as well. So, attacking, which is brilliant.
I think when he kicked that goal, we're only just up, and he bombed it from outside 50 from memory. So, it's not the first time he's done it this season either. Love it.
Yeah. Tommy Mitch, a bit off in terms of his disposals, but happy with, what do you go? 27.
27, Quite by his standards.
By his lofty standards. But it's nice to see him hitting that form. Just his disposal efficiency again, 59%. That's always going to be the criticism. But, in the clinches, you understand a bit. Chad Wingard, he had a game.
He's, for me, in career best form almost. The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's just been insane. So if he can bring that next year, look out.
How much does Clarko bring out of him? That's to the fans as well. That's motivation for some players that have come here to play for Clarko and now are just going to play out of their skin.
Yep.
Brilliant. Setting an example. As Clarko would want. But that's a tough one. The consistency out of Wingard's what we've always wanted, but, can he career best? I don't know, Chris. 3 or 4 weeks, you reckon he's career best form, do you?
Well, that string of matches is the best I've seen. So
at the Hawks.
And that's what I was expecting to get when he came to the club. I thought that's what he would deliver, and it's taken a little while to get there. But if he can put another couple of those years together for us, I think we'll be turning this club around very quickly. Yeah.
Seg's good game. 34
for his 100th. 100th game. Yep.
Nice to celebrate. He had a crack, didn't he? He didn't get up forward too much, did he? From what I could see on the. No,
I think Big Boy spent a bit more time down forward, and we asked him that question on the Zoom call if he can prolong his career by playing forward, and he thinks he can. So hopefully we can see him play down forward a little bit more. I mean, we don't want to cram that forward line. We've already got a few big tools down there, but yeah, he definitely holds his own when he does go down there.
Yeah. Cozzy a couple. It's nice. We talked to Cozzy on that call as well, and just understanding. He feels like he's getting a good chemistry with Mitch. Lewis just getting that understanding together. Lewis 1-1, so it's good. There'll be a lot that probably happens in this off season and sort of re-gearing, but big game this week. So continuing to set the tone and consistently deliver. At the start of this season, we just went missing in the first quarter or a quarter of every game. So yeah.
And another guy who playing brilliant footy, Tim O'Brien. What do you do?
Wasn't it?
Again, I thought he was one that might, be potentially let go off the list because I believe he is out of contract, but pretty hard to let him go the way he's playing at the moment. He's so flexible around the ground. But yeah, it's hard. He sort of found a little bit of a home down back, but we've got that many backmen at the moment that are injured. So it's going to be an interesting off season.
Surely it's the reinvention of some of those backs now, just to sort of wings, maybe some forward through the middle. It's if you ground it back and your defensive backs are good, it sets the tone.
Yep. Well, that's a Will Day. That's for me. Push him up onto the wing of the midfield. We asked him. He was on, wasn't he?
He's well spoken.
We asked one of the other players about Will Day playing up the ground or in the middle. So I think he played midfield as a kid. So I think we'll easily see Will Day getting a little bit of a run through the middle under Sammy.
Yep. No, he's enjoyed his time, albeit just assisting at Box Hill on the bench, and I guess good for him just to sort of take in that IP, that intel, build that bond and communication, because he just does speak so well and he sees the game so well. So if he's able to marshal and direct traffic wherever he is on the ground, then that's got to be a good thing. So here we go.
Oops, you got me.
Stole it off you. I think I don't know with Tim O'Brien. I honestly don't know if you can. He could service this very well.
Insurance policy for the last 7 years.
Yeah, and look, it's even seeing talk of Callow. He played as a back. He's a big body. Is he the sort of fella that comes in to help with Hartigan's? Big body defender. Maybe not straight away. Might need a bit more time, but then Hartigan's on for a few years. So maybe there is those transitions we've got to look at. So there you go. Sorry, Sicily.
Isn't that one?
Forward back.
You love it. Forward or back for you? I know where you're going.
Yeah.
You're going forward, aren't you?
Who's with me forward? Come on.
So it would be good.
Hey,
it would be good. But, yeah. Ball's in Sammy's court, isn't it?
Well, here's the thing. When you got this fella that's up there taking big marks, that was part of the role. CJ, we've had some amazing intercept markers that through this year, can cover things. So,
and Denver will just step straight into that intercept role as well. So,
bang on. Yeah, it's a good call, Tommy. Yep, quite possibly. So, late to the table, but oops, sorry. Here we go. G'day, Ben. I missed you. So, look, it's tough calls. I think Sammy's going to make some of these tough calls. Clarko had a little giggle at that's Sam's job to do the exit interviews and whatnot next week. Yeah. So he's made a lot of these hard calls. And Peter, you just reminded me, it is, what's the potential? What can a different coach, a different voice, a different strategy bring out? There's going to be tough calls. Clarko made them when he came in. He made them at the end of those legends' careers. Some of those tough calls, but he was trying to look after those boys too and extend their careers and look at a whole lot of things. So it is a harsh game, and we expect everything from the comfort of our own couches, seeing as we can't get to the game. But let's see. Oh, here we go.
We can't deny that. His ball use is elite off the back.
Yeah.
But when he's pinch hit down forward, he kicks 1-2 goals. If he spent his whole time down there, if he could get the game, it'd be amazing.
Sorry, he didn't need time at all, did he? He'd be down there for 5 minutes and he'd be plucking one up forward.
Yep.
But here we go. How about that?
Wow. Don't know. I haven't seen him enough to know if he could to do that. He does like his space and being able to run and jump at the ball, but he doesn't. He's got a bit of mongrel about him. He might throw a few don't argues, and he might be up for it.
Oh, well, look, if you need another big body, there is some in the mix that can potentially run through. So I think we'd probably tend to.
He'd have to have a big preseason, get that
He
take
would.
up.
Yeah. So, look, it's lots of exciting things. So, there we go. You're probably right, Hayek. Ease him back in. Let him be behind the ball. Let him not be getting banged up.
We get a bit excited, don't we?
Yeah. Fans is what we do, isn't it, sometimes? Yeah. So, look, everyone's having a field day with this one. I think this is a good call. We're just going totally off script here, Chris and I, but
pretty much having some fun. End of the season, why not?
It's been a big year. It's just the emotion of it all, ending with Clarko. I just still can't believe it a bit, but anyway, I think there's every chance of that, Nigel. Day when we need him on the wing, we've got enough down back, so yeah, let him loose.
All right.
You're going to run. I think you're going to run Wingard potentially a bit more through the middle. I think Wingard has been used a little bit on the wings at times. So if that's a backfill there, I could see that happening.
Do we just quickly touch on Box Hill players played their scratch match on the weekend? Totally. Few of Sammy's quotes. Finn McGuinness, he continued his role as a defender and then went to Nathan Jones later in the game. He did a good job. He's used his experience as a defender to find good balance between attack and defence when he went back through the midfield. So sounds like he's progressing at Box Hill level. And Nathan Jones is no slouch. He's a club legend, and it's a bit disappointing he won't be able to play finals with Melbourne by the looks of it. But, that's good progress for Finn there. Harry Pepper had some very exciting moments. His run, speed, pressure were a standout on the day. He was perhaps our best performer. So
that excited me.
Yeah, pretty big comment there from Sammy. So I wish I could have seen the game. So we pointed out before, Jackson Callow said he had a difficult preparation going down to Lonnie as an emergency. But anyway, he went back late in the game, showed maybe something to explore in the future. So that's interesting that Sammy's gone with that little experiment there. Denver's ability to read the ball in the air was again his strength. He was able to break out of congestion on occasion, give us composed ball use. He had difficult match up on a very good player in Sam Wiedemann. So another Melbourne player who's unlucky not to be in the side at the moment. And so, if Denver's held his own against Sam, then he's done quite well.
Yeah.
And just the last one, Seamus Mitchell. He did a couple of exciting things, but unfortunately got a nasty tackle, which led him to concussion and being ruled out of the game early. So not great, but so that's probably his season over with a concussion rule. I imagine it still carries across. So
just nice hearing some insights, and probably pretty weird for them to be combining teams and playing against half teams and a few extra players. And how much intel do you give? You're just gonna. It'd be weird to coach, wouldn't it?
They called off the VFL season, didn't they? So no more games to be played, and they're looking at playing a grand final between first and second. So I think from memory it might have been Werribee and Southport, but I did hear a rumour that if Southport can't play, maybe we might play, which would mean we're third on the ladder, but I'm not 100% sure on that either.
Yeah, we had our resident VFL expert, which is, if anyone follows Box Hill really closely and you enjoy some of what we do, would love a bit more intel on Box Hill. So sing out, get in touch with us through linktr.ee. Linktree, it is. linktr.ee/talkinghawks. There's all our socials there. Or just ping us on the inbox through talkinghawks.com. Yeah, so that's great, Chris. I think, good signs to finish it off. Hard to, I know that it's been we're hearing from Gilly the other night and on that call, players have already got their plans. They do get to finish up a bit earlier, so they'll be putting in some big off-season, pre-season, I'm sure. But Box Hill, if you sneak in, Reeves was saying he would be eligible to play if they get into finals. So, yeah, that'd be good for his experience. Paul Edwards, great commitment. 100% agree, mate. Continue. Just the little things, if you can go there, continue, it'll be amazing. So a bit of support here from others.
On that note about supporting the club, say we've already got together a package, or not a package, but Hawthorn's got a foundation member for AFLW program. So it's $100 to be part of that. It's a take flight donation. It's putting the building blocks in place to ensure that the AFL has every opportunity to succeed. All donations are tax deductible. So yeah, just be aware of that. And if you can afford it, it's just going to help the club quickly rise through the ranks and hopefully get another flag for the club. So get on board with the women's footy and support the club.
For sure. You've touched on Pepper. I'm interested to keep him. I just haven't seen enough of him. We've seen a bit at Box Hill this year when we got down there, but just bobbed in and out of games that I saw. So to hear that this is, he was best on ground. I want to see that version.
Yes, definitely, 100%. So looks like he's got a bit of speed, and maybe he's just taking a little bit longer to adjust to the level. But I think he's a keeper.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? We've been lacking speed, So if you've got a kid, it's just doesn't matter development time, frames. Just getting focused on what's the role, play to those strengths, and if that's part of what Sammy's doing, then maybe that's what's going to start to bring the best out of Peps.
You've robbed me again.
Go on, jump in.
Here we are. Fergus Green will be at an AFL club next year. He's had an outstanding VFL season, so yeah, I agree. I think someone would be crazy not to give him another lifeline.
Yep. And it's he's looked very nice when we've watched him kick a few bags at Box Hill. So, Darren, it's yes. We don't want to sort of fan the rumour mill, but there's obviously transitions. Some players have talked about, they've come across for Clarko to play under Clarko, so they've got to come to terms with some of that. So I don't know that translates to not being happy under Sam or not. We're going to see some of that unfold with list decisions, trade period. You do want a unified way forward, but there's time and a lot of human emotions and contracts and lifestyle, different phases, some players having families, all of that sort of stuff to play out. So, it's you can see in Sam a young coach. Clarko was 36 when he took over, with a young family, just not too many years off some of the older players that he came in at the time to look after. So, hopefully Sammy's learned some of those lessons, and we will see.
All right, here we are. Does Clarko have a year off? I don't think he does.
So no, for mine.
You reckon he's coaching next year somewhere?
Talking to Andrew Weiss, Hawks Insiders, the understanding, we're sort of clarifying the money that Clarko's owed, it can be paid off over the next couple of years. But if there's any type of employment that he may undertake, that would potentially, as far as what is owed to Clarkson, I think they'll be working out an arrangement. So I think Clarko, knowing the position, soft cap, all of that, his loyalty, and he's a high sort of activity sort of guy. I think he's going to need to stimulate himself, and there's only so much you can do in lockdown, and potentially the ability.
He's got the farm.
The farm, yeah. Look, he'll go hard at the farm. He's going to have all of the Talking Hawks family, putting their hand up to go and volunteer and have a few yarns and pick up some wood and do a few things here and there. But I think there'll be opportunities for him to explore internationally, even if it's contract work. I could see that happening.
I did hear today Ross Lyon knocked back an opportunity for the Collingwood conversation, but then is open to offers from Carlton. So that's interesting.
But that was on Footy Classifieds, and he basically chuckled at the thought of it being a two-horse race, as Caro said. But he's just like, mate, would you take Clarkson or me? He's like, it's not really a two-horse race. It's like if Clarko's available, he's like, available.
Yeah.
The results speak for themselves. So, yeah.
I did catch wins of that, Jacob Hopper. So, yeah, big-bodied midfielder. Would be more than happy to get him in the mix at the right price, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. The conversation's going all over the place. I'm not keeping up with the comments here tonight at all. I think to this one, I think it's been a combination. I think it's been a game plan that's been hatched. Sammy's been at the club for 3 years, remember. So, albeit in different positions, and then getting to take his own team, look to replicate certain aspects at Box Hill that may have been a simplified version of a game plan they ultimately wanted to do at the AFL level. That being the case, I think, I saw it commented that why Sam's sitting on the bench during huddles and whatnot, which is an interesting one. I don't have an answer for that. Couldn't quite work out that one, if that's just giving space. I would have thought someone would have. All of the assistants don't run down out of the box, do they? Clarko might run down, and a couple.
I would have thought they'd do their line coaches at least. I'm not sure if he's a line coach or not.
So whether Sammy needs to stay on the blow up, talking to whoever's up in the box and whatnot, can't comment, don't know. I think Sammy's, anyway, been able to help shape some of the way they're playing at the moment.
Here we go. Clarko's job next year?
Yep.
Prime Minister. Yes, please. Bring it on.
Vote 1, A. Clarkson.
Yep. 100%. It's straight to the top.
Okay, if I had a really good Andrew Demetrio accent, I would 27 million votes. A. Clarkson, not the Brownlow. We'll just give him prime ministership. Very good. Again, the waffle. So I think Sammy's got just reading some questions here, salary cap and whatnot. It'll be interesting to see who changes around him. I think we're seeing a game plan now that's going to remain largely, and I think you're going to see a young, driven list pushing. So, I think the water level is going to go up as far as the standard. Did you see the stat where we're like, if you look at the last 5 rounds, Hawthorn is the 5th best team if we started the season.
Yep. And I think what have we beaten? 4 of the top 8 sides and drawn with Melbourne as well. So basically matched it with 5 of the top 8 this year. And unfortunately just weren't in the right form, or, just still learning that new game plan and whatnot. So, we just didn't quite get it right at the start. And, we could have been close to the 8 and having an impact.
Very good, Peter. I think our percentage would have been 110 as well, had we, for the last 5 games. So, I don't know if you'd go there, would you?
Probably just give him a bit of time off first.
It's mate, these comments are flying through. So, it's what about there's some questions here on the presidency and changing of the guards there? It's Clarkson. I don't think so. Dunstall for mine would be amazing. I don't know about Richie, what Vandenberg, what Vanders would be interested to do.
I think he's got a half decent background. Yep, he could potentially do it.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of names thrown up in the last week or two, but and it doesn't necessarily have to be an ex-player. There's a lot of ex-players mentioned, but it's just someone who's got experience, and it's at the end of the day, you're running a business, so you really do want someone with that sort of background that still has the passion for the club.
Yeah, 100%. I suspect that might happen, but have no basis for that. I don't know how well Sammy got on with Bolts in his playing days, and obviously would have been a line coach for him as well. So they've been in the box together. They know each other well.
I do like this question. What's a pass mark for Mitch next year?
Well, you tell us, Darren, and fans. What do you think it is? Is it measured? If you look at the list and where we're at, I would step back and try to have the perspective of you're looking for improvements in different areas, not all necessarily win-losses. But the way we're tracking, I do find it hard to look. We've got to be up around the 10 plus win marks, I would have thought.
To make the 8 first up's a bit of a high benchmark, I think.
Yep.
I think that's what we'd be shooting for, but a pass mark, like you said, maybe at least 12th to 10th. Yeah, there you go. 8th to 12th. I think 12 plus. You really want to be above where we were this year.
I think we will. Well, you're going to stitch up with the game plan now being a bit more solidified. You're definitely going to get more wins against the bottom teams or those outside the 8. So surely, there's a mixed bag here. It's interesting. I think if I generalised, we're around the sort of 12 to very bottom of the 8.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's interesting. So I tend to. What are the other aspects? What are you looking for, fans? What's success look like?
I guess being able to recruit some quality players to the club, that's going to be a challenge for him. Although now that we've shown a bit of potential, he might be able to flaunt that to some players to get them across. But yeah, that was part of one of Clarko's biggest assets, being able to attract players to the club. So as far as drafting and how much input he'll have in that, I'm not sure, or whether he'll just trust the guys at the club who are doing all that research and just putting his faith in them. But I guess they've got to identify what they're lacking, what positions they need. I think we'd be crazy not to be looking for some sort of midfield kids, the best midfield talent in the league. And whether you top up, I don't think you go with a ruckman, but an extra backman, or like I said, to replace Hardigan down the track, or another forward. But yeah, definitely those midfield players I think are key.
Yeah. Look, you've dropped a recording with a look at the draft with Reece and who we think the Hawks might get. So we just wanted to be sensitive to what's going on right now. Pay respect to Clarko and Silk, and we'll look to sort of release that next week. But it does change as time goes on, where people get ranked and viewed and all of that. So we better round it out. We're getting into next year chats in quite a bit, and look, it's natural, isn't it?
Yep.
We'll cover a bit through the trade and the draft period. So it's exciting to think about. Someone asked about the someone's asked about the rucks earlier. So
that's the goal. That's the aim next year, isn't it? I'm expecting him to fall off the perch.
I'm just going to enjoy that too much. I just, yeah.
We've seen Richmond fall down from the top, and that's a good feeling. It would have been so much better to be actually us putting them out of finals, but
I was going to say, was there a little bit of you that hoped we could do that in this
100%
round? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to the Tigers Hawks games. There's some big ins and outs, so let's just quickly whip through that. And I had a few insights on just some average stats, and I think that it might make a little bit of a difference. So, have you got those ins and outs there, Chris?
Yep. You want to go through Richmond's as well? We may as well. Yep. Asprey, Castagna, Marviol Chol, Riley, Connie Dawkins, Will Martin, don't know him. Camden McIntosh, Ben Miller is on debut, Marlion Pickett and Jack Ross. May as well go through the outs. Jake Arts, decent out. Handy little forward. Trent Cotchin, injured. Shane Edwards, Ryan Garthwaite, Kane Lambert, Ryan Mansell, Toby Nankervis, Dion Prestiart, that's a huge out. Hugo Ralph Smith, didn't even know he played, and Morris Rioli omitted. So that's a huge change in lineup, and some big outs there. For the Hawks, we've got Bruce in, Jager O'Meara, and James Warple. So it doesn't get much better than that. Out, Tyler Brockman just being managed. Connor Downey omitted. Josh Morris was a sub. And John Newcomb, so being managed. Potentially one of those as the emergency.
Yeah, I'd like to think it's Nuke, our boy. Get him in
Denver.
there.
Denver was out last week, so he could get a call up.
In his favour of maybe they'd chuck Peps in just because why not? We'll see. He's done a few miles.
As long as they don't do another Connor Downey and get his first game and not actually play.
Oh, we didn't talk about that. Wasn't that nice though? Just watching the locks, I was just enjoying the breeze going through his locks a bit too much, and just like, mate, enjoy, get out there, do this, do your thing. So yeah,
he didn't shy away from the contest, and he looked like he adapted to the level quite well. So I was happy with his game.
Yeah. For mine, some interesting things while we're just getting your margins and the winner, and if you got it, the goal kicker, how many. Highest goal kicker. I think what's interesting is
I love it.
Tigers trail average hitouts by 7 against their opponents for the season. So we're 36, they're 29. Clearances, we edge them 34-30. Centre clearances is pretty much even, but the stoppage clearances is where we're going to get it done, I believe. So especially looking at the last few weeks, marks inside 50, I think our defenders are clicking well. Tigers average 12, we average 10. I think our game plans a little bit has been, if there's a contest, just bring it to ground. They have a crack. But I think a big role for our defenders in this game to get us a win, but it's looking pretty well oiled. I like the structure that we're seeing. I think that's going to get it done defensively. We're adjusting very quickly. As Howe said, I think we've got that game plan now starting to really click, and everyone's starting to know how to guard the right space and the communication. Tackles, we've got them covered, 61-57 on average, and they average more bounces, 7.6 to our 5.8. So if they continue to take the game on, who knows? They've what is it? About half their team is
it's about 10 changes, 9 or 10 changes.
I think you'll see different quarters where they're a well-drilled team, they're a prideful team. They will make adjustments. I think in the last few weeks we've seen teams not know how to make an adjustment against us. So if that's our game plan, let's see what the Tigers do against us. But I think our way we're hunting the man, hunting the ball, the 1%ers, I'm seeing a lot working. So it could be time for a big bag for one of our forwards. But I think Bruce is going to play his he's leading goal kicker. He's going to take his third, it looks like. I think he's leading more by 5 or 6. I think he's probably going to kick at least 3 this week just to tribute Clarko. So that'll be nice for him to take another.
So I'll throw you my prediction. I'm going to go. I was pretty bullish last week, guys. I said Hawks by 22. Well, it was bloody close to that margin. I'm going to go a bit higher this week. I'm going to go Hawks by 37, and I'm going to throw in Burgoyne for 3 goals. What a way to go out! I think Clarko will give him a bit of game time up forward, I reckon.
Yeah, well, yeah, he tends to do that. Well, all right. I shouldn't just do this one off cut, but I'm going to go the Hawks. They've got that senior lineup. It's enough for mine. They'll get it done by, 30, 35. What did you say?
37.
No,
You always
all right,
go
stuff
close
you.
to me.
I'm going 43. I'm going out with a bang. 43. Stuff you, Chris. It's for
Imagine
Clarko.
what Brad would say.
Silk.
Brad would have been up in the 80s, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah. Brad couldn't come on; he was that excited. So it's there you go, and I'm gonna have more with 4 goals.
But yeah, you haven't been very accurate with your goal kicking predictions this year, Matt.
That's okay. He can.
You just put the mods on him. You've just mozzed him.
All right, we'll see. Fans, thank you. In what's been probably for us a challenging night to come on and talk, and you're in it with us with the club, and keep being faithful supporters of the Hawthorn Football Club. Let's make all the noise we can this week. Get online, be social, pay your tributes. Let's just get behind Clarko for one last big one. Last, all right. He's just not going to go down with a loss, is he?
Moore's not kicking 4 if he's not playing.
All right. I'll take that one back. I'll really put the moz on him.
You've just been schooled. Thanks, Steve.
All right. Cozzy, can you do 4 for me, mate? That'll do. All right. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. And, have a good time enjoying one amazing game this week. And look, we'll be dropping some more content next week. So on some drafts and whatnot. You're welcome, Stephen. All right, mate. We'll take it from here. Have a good one, everyone.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy the game. Go Hawks.
Cheers.